Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Lifestyle with Laura. I am your host, Laura Odegaard, where I'm going to be bringing you the best of the best products available right here on Amazon.com. And I am super excited to be here today in the Volatility Media Studios in West Hollywood. And we have a partnership going with EverTalk Studios, where I have my talk show there, where I've interviewed some amazing authors. So I want to talk to you guys today about motivation. Okay, I know we're in this quarantine and I know it can be so easy to get stuck in a rut and just feel like you're not super motivated and to feel like you kind of just want to be a recluse. Or honestly, that's how I've been feeling a lot of the time, is just like kind of just want to chill in my apartment and not really do much. But at the end of the day, I feel so much better when I get up and I get active and I get excited about something. So recently, I had the chance to interview Jake Kelfer. Now, he is an author, an entrepreneur, a motivational speaker. He's fabulous. And he actually has written a few books that are available right here on Amazon. And you guys can see him down in the carousel below. He has Elevate Your Network, which is an amazing book about how you can elevate your network. So like I mentioned, guys, we have a partnership going with EverTalk Studios in West Hollywood. And something that they always say at their studio is that your network is your net worth. So if you want to learn how to elevate your network, check out Jake Kelfer's book. And if you want to hear it straight from the man himself, I actually recently interviewed Jake on a Zoom interview. So let's check it out on Millennial Life and see what Jake has to say. Welcome back to Millennial Life, everybody. I'm your host, Laura Odegaard, and today we are joined by entrepreneur, author, and founder of the Elevation Summit, Jake Kelfer. How are you doing?
Yes, I'm excited to be here. I'm great. This is awesome that you're doing this, and I'm excited to chat about the summit and everything else that we got going on.
I know, because we've been talking for a while. We've been trying to get you on the show and schedule things because you're doing so many cool and exciting things. I know you've written a few books. You're a fellow Trojan, Fight On. And you've got this awesome Elevation Summit coming up. So let's start with the summit. I think that's super exciting. I got a few DMs. People are wondering what it is. Everyone's really excited. Can you just kind of tell us what is going on with it?
Sure. So the Elevation Summit is a free online event that we put together that features 30 plus entrepreneurs, ranging from Jake Casson, the CEO of Movement Watches, Brandon Cohen, the CEO of Liquid IV, and a bunch of other people that are really focused on building businesses and finding ways to achieve peak performance in life. And we wanted to create this event because of a few reasons, but the biggest one is because everyone's kind of stuck right now, right? Like we're trying to find ways to get through, to stay positive, to stay motivated, to use this as opportunities to grow, to use this opportunities to cope and self-reflect. And so I wanted to get some of the best entrepreneurs, the people that I deem as really successful, and see what they have to say related to what can you do to start now, or what can you do to just find it within yourself to keep on going. Because every day we got to find little wins, especially as we're being affected in different ways. So that's what the summit is, and it's a 5-day summit where we'll release interviews every single day. It should be a really great event.
I love it. That's so awesome. So now, are these are all people that you were friends with previously? Are these people that you've coached? How are you in contact with all of these amazing entrepreneurs?
Little combo of all of the above. Some of them I grew up with. I mean, Blake Pinsker, the VP of Brand Marketing and Movement, we went to high school together. He took me to my first high school party. Some of these people I met just because of doing the summit. I thought the summit would be a great way to build my network, because I talk a lot about building relationships. And, a lot of times when we talk about relationships, like, well, how do you add value to somebody? And, in this time, a great way to add value to somebody is by inviting them to be on your show, to be on your podcast, to be in your summit. And so I was able to build 5 to 10 new relationships with people that I had never talked to before through Instagram DMs, LinkedIn messages, or cold email, just because of that. So it's a combination of people that I've known my whole life, to recent friends in the last year, to brand new people who our first conversation was on the summit.
I love that. So now the title of the summit is called the Elevate Summit. So the main goal of this is we're teaching, I'm not part of the summit. You're, inviting all of these amazing people who are going to teach people how to elevate themselves. What does that mean? What does it mean to elevate someone? How do you elevate? What does it mean to elevate?
Yeah, Laura, that's a great question, and I love it because my whole thing is that I want people anytime they experience me and the work that we do to feel elevated in some way, whether it's through our books, whether it's through our speaking experiences, whether it's through our coaching, whether it's through our summits, whatever it may be. And what elevate means is that you leave the situation feeling a little better than you were when you walked in that situation. You know, just like when you go into a building and you use the facilities of whatever it is for sports or whatever, you always leave it cleaner than you found it. Well, what we want to
Mm-hmm.
do is we want to help people live their life better. Really, it's all about becoming better every single day. It's about coming into the day, finding the small wins that make forward progress each and every day. So for me, it's really all about getting one step better. And in the pursuit of doing that, it's really understanding what success means to you and identifying how do I really believe in my definition of success without the comparison or the guilt or the worry or the overwhelm of what society or other people are doing within our own pursuit of elevation.
Totally. I love that. And I think something else that, is especially relevant right now is really understanding what your own definition of success is,
Yeah.
because it's so easy, especially right now where we are just physically isolated from everyone else. I mean, I find myself totally guilty of this, like scrolling through social media and I see what other people are doing and what other people are getting done right now. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't do that. I should be doing this. So I think it's super important to, understand what your own personal definition of success is. So I know that something else that you do is you coach people, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
How do
Yeah.
what's like the first step that you like to take with some of your coaching clients?
Yeah, so I like to focus on kind of this three-step approach, and it's something that I've figured out for me how to achieve success, whether it's through business and my personal life and everything, and that's called the ACE method. And the
Okay.
ACE method is something, and it's this thing that I came up with, and it stands for action, connection, and enjoyment.
Okay.
And so I believe that, and whenever we do coaching, we kind of go through this breakdown. Action is the foundation. What are the actions that you need to do to get to your definition of success the quickest way possible? How do you have the self-confidence to do it? How do you build the right habits? How do you really get going to achieve that, right? And then you have connection, which for me is probably the most important, because I believe that relationships and people are the foundation to any type of success. You can
Mm-hmm.
never do anything without somebody else helping you along the way. And if you want to really succeed, you're going to want to help other people along the way as well. So connection, we talk all about how to build relationships. We figure out who are the people that are going to help you take the right actions, right? So it kind of goes
Right.
hand in hand. And then I think one of the things that entrepreneurs and people in general, no matter what we do, struggle with the most is how do we enjoy ourselves and have fun in the present moment while we have this pursuit for something greater. Well, we have this
Mm-hmm.
pursuit of being the best in whatever we do. And so when you combine all three of those, action, connection, and enjoyment, you can create the dream life that really suits you and what you're trying to do. So that's kind of how we break down our coaching modules, and we have programs, we have all these things, but really it's coming down to the simple truth of what do you want to achieve and how can we get there? Who do you want to be surrounded with along the way that can help you get there quicker? And how can we have a damn good time every single day in the pursuit of something bigger than just ourselves?
I love that. That's awesome. I like the emphasis on the enjoyment part, because it's so hard to just, you can only be so disciplined and force yourself to do something so many times but when there's no enjoyment of it, it's like, how do you just brute force yourself into getting things done?
Yeah, and one of the
What
things
are,
that, yeah, go ahead.
oh no, go ahead.
I was going to say one of the big things too that we always see people is they're always chasing this next thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you're constantly chasing the next thing, what happens when you get there? Because we're
Right.
we're inevitably going to get there at some point if we do some things maybe correct even. But when we get there, all that happens is we've gotten there and we want something more. But
Mm-hmm.
nothing changes internally. Nothing says, oh wow, we just did this amazing thing. Let's take a second, celebrate. Let's appreciate the present moment. Let's live through that. Right. And so for me, like my mom always used to tell me, Jake, take a second and breathe. Like enjoy the journey, because when I was younger, I was just go, 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 go. And
Right.
it finally hit me after I graduated from USC when I was starting my business that I could go through this entire life chasing whatever it is that I want. But until I learn to really enjoy the journey and appreciate all the ups and the downs along the way, that's when I'm really going to start to win. And it's changed my entire outlook on everything that I do.
Totally. How do you like to celebrate your small wins? What's something that you like to do? Maybe it's not the biggest goal you've ever achieved, but what are some things that you like to do when you achieve something that was just a goal of yours?
Sure. Whenever I finish a speaking gig, so every time I do a speech, I'll treat myself to a meal after. And it doesn't even have to be a huge meal. It could literally be a sandwich, a local cuisine, whatever it is. Like it's just my way of treating myself. Other times, right now, one of the things that I really try to do for myself is find ways to appreciate like one win every single day. And so that might be me going on a walk. If I like crushed my morning, I'll be like, let's go. You deserve a great walk today. Or
Oh, I
just
love
like,
that. That's a good one.
just like, yeah, or just like doing like completely random things that I know fill my buckets and kind of come after putting myself through something that challenges me. Because when we can challenge ourselves and continue to push ourselves to what we think might be our limits, then we can start to celebrate those things, which make us want to keep trying to push the limits even further. So those are some of the ways that I've been doing it recently and that I try to have a little bit of fun with.
I love that. I think food is always such an exciting reward. I used to always do that. I'd be like, okay, if I don't miss any workouts this week, like I'm going to In-N-Out on Saturday, and like I'm telling you, it's such a good motivator. I swear, food, and I mean for me personally, like shoes too. Like I love buying a new pair of shoes, like a new bag, but that's beside the point. What's like one of the biggest mistakes that you see people frequently make when they're trying to pursue their dreams, pursue their goals? What's like a really common mistake, and how can people avoid it?
There's quite a few mistakes to be honest, and I think it's different for everybody, right? But I think and we've kind of talked about it briefly, is one of these big mistakes is we're just so me focused. And what I mean by that is innately we're focused on ourselves. Like we need to take care of ourselves, right? But a lot of people, when they start a business, when they're in their career, it's how can I get to the next place? And a lot of times we're so focused on, again, where we're trying to go that we forget to enjoy where we are now. And whether you're trying to see yourself at the end result, whether you're trying to see yourself at $100 million company, whether you're trying to get that corner office, whether you're trying to lose those next 5 pounds, I think one of the big mistakes that people make is that they think they have to do all or nothing right away, that they have to take this giant leap of faith and just go for it and do everything, and it's all about them. But in reality, the greatest people on this journey find ways to have fun and bring others up with them. And, I really think that it switched for me, because when I saw other people succeed, I always said like, oh, I'm so excited for them, right? But there was a part of me that was kind of like, wait, I don't want them to succeed too much, right? Because maybe then they'll have all this great success. And I was like, wait a sec, that's not the person that I want to be. Like that's just focused on me. And once I changed that, when I started my business, once I really changed that and really focused in on like, I genuinely want to see you have the biggest talk show ever. And I really do what we can, like in your own power to build, then you can start to see how your energy changes and your relationships change and the actions that you're going to take are going to change, but they're all changing in the positive direction. So that's one of the big challenges or mistakes I see people going, and kind of how we can fix that.
I love that. That's so fabulous. I think that kind of goes back, at the studio at EverTalk, we always kind of talk about this, you got to give to get. And I love that. I think it's so true. I think the more that you help other people, the easier, you get help in return. And also you're just genuinely happier. And just kind of goes back to what you were talking about, enjoying things. I think it's a lot easier to enjoy things when you're genuinely happy for other people. For sure. So I would imagine that, before you became a coach, you probably received a lot of mentorship and advice. What's some of the best advice that you've received?
I've gotten so much great advice because I've been so blessed to have a desire to learn, which has led me to ask questions, which has led me to receive incredible answers that I didn't even know I could get. And so some of the best advice, one comes from my mom, which is to live in the moment and enjoy the journey. Okay.
Oh, love that one.
One comes from my dad. Actually, two come from my dad, and I'll share both of them with you. One of them is the only shortcut in life is to start now, because he was telling me this right before I wrote my first book, and he was really just saying this simple truth is that he was like, Jake, I don't know if you're going to sell 1,000,000 copies or 5 copies, but what I do know is that if you start today, good things are going to happen. And a lot of times we get so focused, like I said this in the beginning, we get so focused trying to just think about like, oh, I just want to be a best-selling author. I want to sell millions of copies. But if you never start, you'll never get to that point. So you have to start now because great things will happen. Another great piece of advice that I've gotten is from a mentor of mine who talks about being better every day. And his whole philosophy is, what can you do today to make you a little bit better than you were yesterday? And I've kind of translated that into, how can I have a few wins every single day? And if I could have a few wins, I'm going to have a winning life. And if I could have a winning life, I'm going to have a great time and I'm going to be a champion when it's all said and done. So those are just a couple pieces of advice that like really stick with me and resonate with me as I've kind of learned what life is all about. And as I continue to explore and meet great people along the way.
I love that, Jake. You seem like so positive and like such great energy, and it's just awesome. How did you, when did you write your first book? 'Cause I know you have 2 books out. When did you write your first book? Was it right after USC?
Yeah. So my first book, and it's funny because I didn't have any intentions of writing my first book at 23. Like I thought that you had to go to college, get a good job. Like I want to be a sports agent. Then I was going to like make $1 million. I was going to buy a house, buy an island. And then I was going to be able to write the book. But well, I was working for the Lakers, and I got that job right after we graduated. So I was working for the Lakers during Kobe Bryant's final NBA season. And I hate traffic. And you know LA traffic. It's the worst.
It's a nightmare. It's a different breed. Yeah.
And so my commute was from like where Six Flags Magic Mountain is, which is like Santa Clarita, to El Segundo, which is where the Lakers offices were, which is far. I mean, it was far, and traffic could take you 2.5 hours if you leave in rush hour. So I would leave super early in the morning, and I would get to the Lakers office at like 6:30. And so for 2.5 hours, I'd be able to write, reflect, take a quick nap, and do everything that I needed to do. And while I was doing that, I figured like, well, what am I really supposed to be writing about at this point in time? And I asked myself 2 questions. What do I know? And how can I help people? And by answering those 2 questions, I immediately knew that I could help a lot of people about getting jobs. I was in what I thought was my dream job at the time.
Right.
I knew a lot about relationships. I knew a lot about all these different things. And my brother was a sophomore at USC. So I said, you know what? I can help all of the college kids and everyone save time so they can have more time to party by learning all these great tips about the job strategy. And so I wrote all these blog posts. And nobody read them. And all of a sudden, I meet with a mentor of mine, and he's a professor at UCLA. And I say, hey, like, no one wants to really read this, but like, I know it's good stuff. And he reads it all. And he says, Jake, this is really good stuff. You need to make this into a real book. And I freaked out in that moment. I was 22 at the time, and I was like, what do you mean a real book? And he goes, this is real good information. People need to hear this. I would have my college student read it today. And so I came home that day and I told my mom and dad, I've taken all the stuff that I've been working on and I'm writing a book. 4 months later, Kobe Bryant retires, I retire, and
you retire.
Elevate Beyond is out. Yep. And that's how the first book was created, which is Elevate Beyond, a real world guide to standing out in the job market and discovering your passion.
I love that. And I know that something that people really like about your book is that you tell a lot of real life stories in it too, right?
Yeah, all the time. There's always stories.
I love that. I love what you said about your book. Just read Jake's book, and then you have more time to party. I mean, that's just a great selling point right there.
Yeah, marketing 101. Give the people.
Yeah, there we go.
Give the people what they want and tell them what they need.
That's so awesome. And then what's your second book about?
So the second book is called Elevate Your Network, and you can see kind of them. They're both kind of behind me right now. And Elevate Your Network is 25 Kelf keys. So instead of chapters, I call them Kelf keys. Last name's Kelfer, and like I said, you got to find ways to have fun in this pursuit. And so for me, I was like 25 Kelf keys. And each one of those are chapters. And it's raining right now. And each one of those is a key lesson on how to build better relationships in life and business. And so in each one of the chapters, we talk a lot about different stories, different lessons, different actionable tips of how do you build your network? How do you do it in an authentic way? And there's all these great keys that have really been able to influence a lot of business decisions, help students increase their internship and job strategies, people start businesses, all these different types of things. And it's all been, an incredible experience that takes my own journey and combines it with the best in the world. And I'm just the vessel to share the information. So I've really packaged in both my books smarter than me and have more experience than me.
That's awesome. I love that. So one last time, let's just tell everybody where they can find your book and also
Sure.
where they can find you. And of course, where can they register to check out the Elevate Summit?
100%. So first of all, great questions you asked today. Like I love these questions. And so kudos to you on that. This has been an unbelievable day.
Once this whole COVID situation is over, we're going to have you come into the studio for a more official interview. We do love our live streams, so we want to get you in the studio as well.
100%. So both my books are on Amazon, Elevate Beyond and Elevate Your Network. You can check them out. I'll send you a link for anyone that wants a free copy of Elevate Your Network. You just got to pay shipping and handling, but we'll do a free copy for anybody that's interested.
Great quarantine reading, and have more time to party if you read it.
That's very, very true. More time to sit by yourself, or to get on Zooms.
More time for online shopping.
Yeah, get those shoes, right? You got to get those shoes. And you can find me on all the social media at Jake Kelfer, JakeKel, F like Frank, ER. And for the Elevation Summit, just go to my Instagram at Jake Kelfer, and the link is in the bio. And it's free, and we're offering tons of discounts, products, everything for you guys, anyone that's joined. So we're super excited about it, and I appreciate you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jake. And thank you everyone for tuning in to another episode of Millennial Life. And we will see you next time. Well, that was so awesome. I want to give a big thank you to Jake Kelfer for coming on the show. I loved chatting with you, and I hope you guys got some valuable tips from this. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Would you follow any of these tips? Which one? What was the most helpful thing that you learned from that interview? I am dying to know. And thank you so much to EverTalk Studios and Volatility Media. We are so excited to have this